worker regulation, the idea of OSHA and the like. OSHA's great, keeps our workers safe. People aren't dying, in industry anymore. But it comes at a cost because there are places in the world, like for example, in India, the guys working up on the bamboo scaffolding 30 stories up, they don't have personal fall equipment on. They don't have the personal protection equipment because a hard hat, a harness, those kind of things cost more money than that worker's wages, not just for a day, but for a week or for, even a year maybe. So the guy who's building this new skyscraper or this, new high rise, he doesn't want to pay this laborer.
Right.
He doesn't want to pay for this laborer's life, for this
That,
protective
that,
equipment that would save this person's
yes,
life.
that brings up a good point when we talk about unions. 100 years ago, unions they were desperately needed because they helped to bring on some of these changes, that OSHA now enforces for us.
Yeah,
Some of these rules and
absolutely.
regulations, your child labor laws and 8-hour work hour, and then the overtime that goes with it. It really brought the owners of these corporations, and made them responsible for their actions. But now we're 100 years down the line, and we have things like OSHA in place. We have we have all of these, these agencies that we, may or may not be constitutional, and
Yeah,
that's a whole nother.
dubious constitutionality.
There's a
But
whole
we do
nother
have
show
these
just on
agencies,
that.
and the question is, are these agencies needed, or are the unions needed? And
Hmm.
there's a balance we have to it. I mean, let's look at something that just happened this past week. President Obama's coming out and he's saying, "Oh, the unions, the TSA can unionize. This is a great thing." Well, it's kind of crazy to me. I look at it and I scratch my head. Why can the TSA unionize? Who are they protecting? Who are they collective bargaining with, that wants to take advantage of them? Because ostensibly the union is there to protect the worker from the man, right? Because the
Right.
man holds the worker down. And we know this. We know that there was a time in history where pretty bad deals,
Hmm.
that evil, greedy capitalist,
Right.
he kept the man down, right? Well, who does the TSA work for?
They're supposed to
Right?
work for us.
That's right. Works
Wait
for
a second.
us. So are we keeping the TSA man down?
That's it. It's a secret plot. We're keeping the TSA man down.
I mean, honestly, are we keeping him down? I don't think so.
No, if
Why?
anything, it's the exact opposite. We're in fear of them. It's, like the IRS. They work for us. Really? Has anyone told them lately?
Um,
They get the
let's.
memo.
Yeah, so it, I kind of laugh at the idea. Like, why is it that the TSA has a union? John, when you were in the Navy, did the Navy have a union?
No,
No,
no, we
that's
didn't.
exactly
There
right.
was no
No.
union in the
Okay,
Navy.
what's the difference? What's the difference between the TSA and the Navy in their stated purpose? They're supposed to keep us safe, right?
Yes, first and foremost.
So why is it that the TSA can unionize but the Navy can't?
I'm not sure. I don't see the authorization for it. I
Is
don't see
there
them
a
allowed to do it. But that really doesn't come into play because there's so many things that when we look at our Constitution, they're not allowed to do. We look at state constitutions and we see where, yeah, the state's allowed to do it, the federal government's not allowed to do it, but they just do it anyway.
yeah? But to me, it's a very important question. Why is it? Is the FBI allowed to unionize? What about the Secret Service? Is there a Secret Service union?
I wouldn't be surprised if there is. But think of this, if there was a Secret Service union, would we know about it?
They would keep it a secret.
Yeah, it'd be a secret. The CIA has their own thing, I'm sure. You know,
Could you imagine the spook union?
that would be interesting. They all got this little Casper pin, that they wear on their lapel. But it brings up a great point, and we heard some conversation about it this week. With the federal employees and the unions, um, the budgets they're talking about, um, freezing their salaries. pulling back some of the wages, restructuring some of the commitments that they have. And right away, the federal union steps up and goes, absolutely not. No way, this is a crazy. And I think the quote that I saw or I heard, right from the horse's mouth was, anyone who's considering this must be retarded. And I think, wait a second, have you looked at the $14 trillion debt? Have you looked at this giant, 1.45 trillion dollar shortfall in the budget? And you want more money on top of what you already got? You're already higher paid than your civilian counterpart. You've got us beat on salary. You've got us beat on perks. You got us beat on vacation days, on everything else that goes into the whole bucket for a federal employee, and you want more. It's like the band on the Titanic saying, "Look, guys, we need to get overtime if we're going to stay on the deck while the ship sinks." No, the ship's sinking. There's not going to be any time. No one's going to be there to pay you. So if federal employees want an 80% tax hike, go ahead, go for it. We'll up your salary 200% if you want. We're going to go broke and go down burning together in flames.
Right. Well, and that's kind of funny, right? Because the idea is, yeah, you want a big salary? Well, we have to pay your salary. We've already got the printing press unlocked. No one's standing guard there anymore, so we'll just print the money out, and we'll give it to you, and it'll be worthless, but you know what? You'll have your money, and in fact, we'll give you a raise. We'll give you a 20% raise. Doesn't matter that inflation is 2,000%, but we'll give you a 20% raise. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you got to come to a point where everyone's going to be burning those dollar bills, just to fuel the fire, just to kind of keep warm, because your electric's going to be shut off. You'll be able to afford it.
You have Benjamin Franklin wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll have some kind of use for it. Hey, just want to give it out to everyone in the chat room. We've got some people in there just chit-chatting away. The viewer counts rising up, so it looks like it's going to be an interesting show. Again, the phone number, if you should decide that you want to call in, is 561-503-2353. 561-503-2353. And let us know, what do you think? Unions, are they still viable? Tell us what you think. Give us a call.
Yeah.
Yes, you can call
so
in
they're
now.
still viable, or if they are viable, are government employees? Because I'm not going to argue that a guy who works in a shop, or the guy who's out there doing my landscaping, the landscaping, that he doesn't have a right to unionize. That he's not going to be taken advantage of in some way.
Well, that's private sector.
Yeah, in the private sector. But this concept that we the people will somehow oppress we the people who want to serve us in government service is a little ludicrous to me.
If you want to serve the public, you have to accept the terms. If you want to do it, accept the terms and go up there and do it. Part of that term is obeying our laws. You have to obey the Constitution, which means you're probably going to have to read it. Probably more than once for Congress. It would be nice if they did it on a daily basis. It's probably a requirement. They probably need to. But at least they get off on the right foot and they read it at least once, or at least some of them did. What I noticed about that? After each one read it, they left. I'm watching this on C-SPAN, and they're reading the Constitution, right? And I'm thinking, this is historic. And think of how sad this is. When Congress reads the U.S. Constitution, it's an historic event. That just, is so sad. But it is what it is. So I'm watching this, and I'm seeing these guys go up there all dressed in their suits, feeling real nice and proud. And I'm thinking, this is great. And they're going up there and they're reading, each one's reading like 6 words, okay, whatever, make a spectacle of it, go ahead. At least they're getting out there. And they go through it. And Pelosi went up there and nearly had a heart attack. I thought she was going to laugh or cut up on it. And so they go through all of this stuff, and then C-SPAN pans the room. And there's nobody there. They're gone. It's empty. All right, yeah, you have to read it. That's great. Next time, let's put the requirement in that you have to actually listen to it.
Right. They all left. They're all back at their offices drinking a fifth of scotch.
Yeah, I don't know what it may be. They may be going, oh, my God. And it's the only one that I would excuse, from having to do would be Ron Paul. He knows that thing inside out, upside down. He's probably read it all over the place. I bet you he, just like I, have it hanging on the wall.
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing that, as you say, that's a crazy, that it's a special event. It's a historic event,
Hmm.
and you would think that it would be a required thing, like that at the beginning of each session, that they would have to read that, just to remind them, hey, here's the rule book. Now let's play the game.
Yeah, yeah, something else. Hey, now let's shift gears just a slight bit. Okay,
Okay.
I heard being banted around. Jeb Bush, 2012.
For governor of Florida or president of the United States?
For president, United States, Jeb Bush. I've asked that question to a dozen people, and I literally have gotten the same response. Who's putting this out? Who's the guy that's out there on the street corner with a sign Jeb Bush for president? 4 more years of Bush. Who's the guy?
Can you
you
can
know?
you imagine? Jeb, 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 Jeb. I've seen what he's doing now. He's working towards privatization of schools. Expanding
Mhm.
school choice. He's really taken that on and taken that to heart as his issue now,
Yeah.
and he's doing good. I think I believe anyway that he's doing good, and he's helping that movement along. Uh,
Well,
would he make a good president? Let's ask that question first. Would Jeb Bush make a good president?
no,
No.
no. I don't think that he would. And I think the biggest reason that he wouldn't is because of the legacy that he would bring with him. Now, he might be the right guy, the right time, the right place. He may have the Constitution backwards, forward hanging on his wall. He may have a picture of Ron Paul hanging on his wall, okay? He might attend every Tea Party event and be out there waving signs. He might be the total package. But the fact that he is George II's brother, that ruins the whole thing. Right there, at that alone, you're done. There's certain
Okay,
baggage you can't bring with you.
so he's W's brother. That's what makes him bad, not the fact that he's George the first. He's George's son. I mean, that
Unfortunately,
was the slight against W, right? That he was George's son.
that's exactly it. Yeah, and it's sad. It really is because he doesn't get the opportunity. Bush doesn't get the opportunity to stand on his own merit because of what his brother did. Now, if it were the other way around, like when FDR ran, right? Teddy Roosevelt was extremely popular. They put the guy on Mount Rushmore for crying out loud, right? He was very
Right.
popular. People loved him. They thought he was fantastic. FDR came in. He could, bring in the fact that Roosevelt was a cousin, that he was a relative. He could rely on that because that was a positive. If Jeb Bush gets into it, he's not afforded that opportunity because on one side, your left side of our crazy political spectrum is going to say, "Oh, absolutely not. We don't want that again." And the majority of the right are going to say, "Oh no, we don't want that again." So he brings a whole lot to the table. He brings a lot of baggage to the table the moment he steps in the door.
Right, and it's a non-starter. It really is a non-starter. And I tell you, if he came and people thought it was great and he got nominated, that would tell you a couple of things about the powers that be in our political system.
Uh-huh.